Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Tiny box this time, which means we've got a lot of details to do in this one. We've got pack 9 of the Agora models release. I built the Lamborghini Miura. Now in these stages we're going to be continuing to build on what we've done here, including putting the spare tyre in. So there is quite a bit of detail that we're going to be putting in this one. Now after the end of this video I am going to just go for a quick review of what we've done so far, because there is only going to be 3 more stages to go after this, or 3 more packs to go. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down here to the Agora Models website. Check that out because you've got loads of new things on there as well for 2023, including the James Bond collection coming soon. So that's going to be something special. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're actually going to start this, rather than open this pack, we're going to be pulling out the brake discs and cylinders that we had from the, or calipers, sorry, that we had from the last pack. Now we've already created one of these together, and that looks, as you can see, just like this. So we're just going to make another one. So quite simply, we get the 2 halves here, and all we're going to do is put these 3 lugs into the 3 holes here, pinning that together. So when it's locked in, it should be one complete disc looking just like that. Now we need a type F screw, which I've got here. This came previously as well. Just going to get those out and bring over what we've been working on last time here. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be fitting this section that we haven't put in a screw. The F screw is going into that now. That will hold that whole hub carrier into place. I have put oil on that, but I am going to tighten that now just with my big screwdriver here. Perfect. Get another one. Do exactly the same on the other side. Excellent. So now when that turns, as you can see, it's going to have an effect on the other side there. Now we're going to be taking the left brake caliper, or half of the caliper, looking like this. This came in stage 64. That's just going to go over the pins that you can see on this hub carrier here. So I'm going to push that in, and it's going to sit in just like that. Get one of the brake discs and put that on, just like that. And then we're going to be closing that off by putting the other side of the caliper on. Looking pretty good. That's that into position there. And then quite simply, we're just going to be doing exactly the same on the other side. So again, half the caliper in this side here, like that. Put the brake disc on. Perfect. And then just take out the other half of the caliper and put that into place. So that's both of those into position, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now, even though we're on stage 68 now, we're actually still using parts from stage 67. So I'm not going to open the part or show you the parts that I'm opening each page, because it is going to get confusing. But these parts come in the last stage. So we are kind of like a stage ahead at the moment. And the first thing I'm going to do is take this little tiny fuse box. That's just going to go onto this blade sort of fitting here, pointing down. So if I push this on, it's going to be quite a tight fit. So you're not going to need to glue this on. But it looks just like that there. Hopefully that helps. On the bigger blade here, we've got another detail, which again is just going to be pushed on, so that looks like that. On the bigger blade here, we've got another detail to go on that looks like this. It is directional. It goes on that way there. Hopefully you can see that. We then got the battery disconnect switch, which looks like this. It has a little red top on there. That's going to be pointing down on this section. It can only go in one way because it is a D-shaped lug there. So that fits on like that. I'm going to put that down and bring over this whole section here. And this is where we're going to be dealing with these 2 loose ends of the battery terminals here. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting these through the hole that you can see at the bottom. So basically if I feed one through, so it comes out the bottom, just like that. That's how these leads are going to go. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Push it through the opening at the bottom. That was hard, but there you go. That's both of those out. One side was easy, one side was really hard. And now the crossbar that we just made in the previous stage, we're actually going to be putting this into place now. So this is just going to go onto the metal pegs that you can just see there and there. It's going to sit in just like that. And that's going to be held in with a Type A battery that comes in this stage. And when I say this stage, I meant the last stage, because we are a stage behind on each build at the moment. So one in here, and then just one in the other side. And with this final one in here, get that nice and tight. That is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 69, I'm opening the parts for stage 68 here. And what I'm interested in these little cap covers in here, these little black things. So bringing over what we've just been working on, these are just going to cover the screws that were holding this cross member in here. So just line them up and push them in. Now what I can do, just use the blunt end of my screwdriver just to make sure they're pushed in fully there, like that. Do the same on the other side. Perfect. Put that to one side, because now we're going to be taking the tank tube, its support, and one of the Type B screws. So this is the tank tube here and the support. So what we're going to do is we're going to be piecing these two bits together. We want this with the open side facing up and the support looking like that. This goes at an angle, so it fits just over that lug there, like that. That's held in with a Type B screw. So got that here. That's in place, and just make that nice and tight. Now we have got a cap to put in place now, which is going on this side. This is what the cap looks like, and quite simply that just goes into that section like that. Bring over this top again, and once again I'm going to point to this. We're interested in this hole just here behind this reservoir here. So it's going in there. And it's this end that's going into that hole. So this goes underneath that cross frame there, into the hole. Should just drop in, like that. Then the other side is going onto the two holes that we can see in this side here. So push them in, and there we go. That holds itself in place with no screws whatsoever. That's brilliant. Put that to one side. And we're going to be taking these two master cylinder parts here. And quite simply, these are just going to go with this slot here into that side. So when we've got this in, just seeing if we need glue. I don't think we need glue. That's quite supportive. That goes in like that. So that's the master cylinder done. Now, if you can see that we do have two pins here, I'll show you where that's going. That's going into the two holes just behind this brake disc. Very hard to see. I don't know if putting light on that is going to help. Let's have a look. Don't know if you can see that. There is two holes in there. Let me get this in and show you what this looks like. There we go. That's in like that. That looks better, doesn't it? And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 70, we're actually going to be using parts from stage 69 and stage 70. So we're starting to catch up now. Now I am keeping these separate so I know what stage is what. And the first thing I need is the cooling fan. So we've got one that came with stage 69, looking like that. And we've got one with come in stage 70, which, you get this open, looks just like, whoops, come on, there you go, like that. I'm going to take the base, which comes in stage 70. So we are basically working on two stages at the same time here. And putting these fans into place. So one on this side, just lining up gently, and one on the other side here, like that. Now I'm actually, don't know if this makes a difference, but I'm putting them exactly where they need to be as per the picture. So that's looking exactly like the picture there. And what I'm then going to do is put the covers on these, which look like these. Now, as you see, there is a little notch on the bottom there. We've got 2 pins either side which are going to go in there. The notches go to the opposite side of these holes here. So when I put it in, it's going to go in this way. Put the other side in. And there we go. That's one fan in place like that. Do the same on the other fan. By doing that, I don't think it does matter which way we put it in, as long as we can get this into place. Again, it's following the same way as last time. So this notch is at the bottom and this open side is towards this side here. So I get that one in. There you go. They look like that. They don't hold themselves yet though, because I've got to put some B screws just into the other side to keep them into place. I've got them here, so I'm going to hold them in from this side and get them in this side here. We're then going to take the part from stage 69, which is the other side of the radiator here. We're going to keep that into place. And this is pretty much a symmetrical piece, so it doesn't really matter what way we put this around. Although saying that, there is a little arrow down the end here. Just going to see if that does make a difference. Doesn't say. Doesn't say. I think arrows should always point upwards, so I'm going to have it that way, because the radiator will be sitting this way round. So, but that fits in perfectly like that. As you can see, we've now got a full radiator. We're going to put this into the car now. So, bringing this over here. Pretty much easy to see where this is going to go. These 2 points at the bottom are going to fit over these 2 mounting points here. So this is going to go on just like that. It's going to sit at an angle that you can see there. And it's held in with 2 type S screws. And get these into place. Very hard to do. Once again, we've got the problem with everything being black. It's hard to see if you haven't got the light right. Now, in a studio like this, where I've got direct lights over the top, it's even more harder because the light's only coming from one side. So that's why you might see me struggling just a tiny bit with this. But I think we're good. Yep, we are. We're going in. Perfect. And that's the radiator in place, looking just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. It's looking good, isn't it? So in stage 71 here, look, we're back on track again now. We're going to be fitting the radiator pipes and tie rods. And the first thing it wants me to do is to take the right radiator pipe. And we can identify that because the right one hasn't got any silver work on it at all, like that one there. So that looks like this. Now, one side of this side here is going to be going into the radiator. So I'm going to be turning this over. And I'm looking at the pins just here. And there's another one just here. So what we're going to do is take the front end of this, put it into the radiator. There's actually a hole in the radiator that you can see just there. So line that up and then rotate the whole thing round and put these over the pins here like that. You should be able to do it in one swift movement, and then that will make things a lot easier. Push this into place. Like that. Make sure it goes all the way down. Make sure this end's completely into the radiator here. Perfect. There we go. I don't know if you can see, we've got a pipe in the radiator, and then that pipe's in place there. Now it is saying, be careful that we're not trapping any battery cables. I think we're good there. Excellent. We're going to do exactly the same now with the left-hand side. So the left-hand side's going into the top of the radiator here, and it's this end that's going into the top. So there's a hole there that this is going to go in like this. Again, I'm going to turn it over, and now we've got that in the radiator. This is going to go on the bottom, making sure we're not trapping any battery pipes. We're going to push these over the lugs here. So we've got 2 exhausts in now, and they're both into the radiator. And then the last thing to put in is the radiator tie rods. So they're going from the top of the radiator into the holes in this cross frame here. Now, it does go in a certain way. It goes in with this end, let me show you here, that's got sort of like the bend on it, into the radiator, like that. And then the other end goes into the cross frame. So I'll get one in, show you what that looks like. Perfect. That's in like that. Do the same on the other side. That's both of those in, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 72, we're going to be adding some more essential parts to the frame here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking, get these out, this bracket, which looks like that. I might just zoom up my camera a bit here. And we're going to be putting 2 clutch and brake reservoir on each side of this. Now one's going to go on this side with some pins, and that will go through this bracket. And we want it to go completely through to the other side like that, because it's going to be closed off with the other reservoir, which is coming in from the other side. So when we push them together, as you can see, we've got 2 reservoirs together. Now these are going to go into the 2 holes that you can see just at the back here. So I'm going to get them in. They're in like that. They are a little bit loose. I think I'm going to just drop a tiny bit of glue into those holes. Not a lot. Less is more. But there you go, they're in. Perfect. Now this is where it comes to detail. This is the indicator emitter relay, I guess. That's just going to go onto the top, just behind those reservoir, into the 2 holes we've got in here. I'll see how this fits. There we go, that's in. That was hard. I had to use a bit of oil to get that in. But there you go, that's in like that. Let's put that to one side, because here we've got the wiper motor. That looks like that. Now this is just going to go into the keyhole that we've got just behind the reservoir there. So I get this in. Perfect, and that's in just like that. I do have one other thing to put in, which I completely forgot about, which looks just like this. This is just going behind this window wiper motor, so I'm going to just take that out again, just so I can get this tiny piece in here. This is basically just another relay box. So I'll get this in, and there we go. Look, we've got the relay in as well. So that really is the end of that stage. So in stage 73, we've got even more details that we're putting into that bay now. And the first thing we want are these 2 bonnet hooks. We've got a left-hand side one and a right-hand side one. So bringing this back over, I want the right-hand side one first. It is labelled with an R on here. Get these out. And it's going to be going into this side just here, into the 2 holes that we've got into this metal tray like that there. Do the same on the other side for the left one. And there we go. That's the left-hand side one in as well. The next thing we've got are these bonnet support buffers, these are called. They look just like this. These are actually just going to go on the pegs that you can just see at the end here. So they just slot on the end. This is another thing which is a little bit tight to get in. So I am just getting a file just to make these holes just a little bit bigger here. That will aid getting these in. You do want to make sure that's pushed all the way in, just so you know. The other side, as you can see, is a lot easier to do. That goes in like that. That didn't need any adjustment at all. I've then got this high voltage regulator here. That looks like that. That's going in this side here. We've got 2 holes just on this back wall to push this in. I do struggle with these little tiny details here, but that one's in, as you can see. You can see the lugs through the back there. And then we've got a couple more relays, which are just going to go next to it. See, I needed to use a tool to get that in the end, but there we go. That's those ones in as well, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Which means the very last stage of this pack, we're going to be using the spare wheel. Just get these parts out. Now this tyre is a lot softer than the ones that we had before, so it should be easier to actually push these into place. So all I'm going to do is just line up this side here and push this through the rim like this, and then just make sure this tyre goes uniform around the whole thing. It's a lot more harder when you have to put it back on the lip rather than putting it too much, but there we go. I think we're good. That's one side, that's the other side. Nice and easy. Now, bringing over what we've been working on, we're just going to put the mount for this into these 2 pins here. They're going to go in like that. They're held in with B screws. Put a little bit of put a bit of oil in them just to get them in. So one there. And one on this side here. And then all that's left to do is to grab the spare tyre here, put that in this way, and that's in just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That looks excellent. Absolutely enjoyed that. So as I promised at the start, I'm just going to zoom out the top camera a second. So we've done this whole area here, put that to one side. Let me show you what other parts we've already done. We've got the top here where we've already done the headlining underneath, and we've got a wire coming out the bottom there ready to plug in. We've done the engine, and that's all in the engine bay and housing, all ready to go there. We've done the interior. That looks just like that. We've completed and wired up 2 of the doors with the windows. They look good. Put them just to one side there. Then all we've got left are 2 tyres, and check this out, the dashboard looking just like that. But that is all there is to do in that pack. Seeing everything that we've built here, it really is coming together. I'm sure in the last 3 packs we are going to start piecing everything together now. Now once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I'll put a link in the video description. You can get that all the way from pack 1. But really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.